Hello, my name is Christian Aldo Gorky. I am a Russian from the Siberian Winter Assault Troops. We have defeated those fascist pigs in Stalingrad, Moscow, and Leningrad, and now we shall chase them all the way back to Berlin for victory for Mother Russia. Sound exciting? Let's go to war! Fire! So if you guys notice this outfit, this is literally an authentic 1942 issue to Siberian Winter Assault Troops, for the Soviet armies, except it was just in a little bag and put in a warehouse since the war and was never used. But this is really cool. It's got the hood that you always see, those guys, they have their skis on, and it's got the crazy, really baggy, loose winter pants, which I'm not wearing, but they're in the living room. And then these gloves here, there's little holes for you to fire, and then you could, the thing comes off. And they're very thin. They're just designed to go over the clothing. Anyway, what do you think? Isn't that cool? And they smell really old too. When I smell that smell, I think I'm back on the steppes of Russia, on skis trailing behind a Joseph Stalin II tank, which we're gonna showcase today. You ready? Let's check out the first set of figures. Okay, the first set we're gonna look at, I'm gonna give you a background about it. It was released by Italeri for their 132 scale series, and it was back in 2006. And up to that point, nobody had ever done a set of Soviet winter infantry before. So all of the 132 World War II collectors were super excited, and so here they are now. So the first two poses of this 8-figure set are, this guy seems like he's some kind of officer, and he's waving on the suicidal hordes charging the Germans. He's holding a PPSH 1941 submachine gun, and he's wearing the very common down-filled winter coat that were issued to the Soviets. Sometimes, if you were lucky, you got a winter coat and winter pants, but this guy only had a winter coat. And this gentleman here is running with a it's the SVT-40, and he's running with an STV-40 rifle, which was commonly used by Soviet snipers. And he's also wearing the winter coat. So there they are, in all of their glory, attacking those fascists. Poses 3 and 4. And poses 3 and 4, you have a guy kneeling, firing a DP-28 heavy machine gun with a nice ammo disc on the top. And this guy's a spotter, and he's also holding the ammo disc. And he's got a rifle strapped to his back, and they're wearing those nice warm winter caps, which I don't have. And they're firing. Get them. So, there they are. My gun tip broke off. Can never find it. Poses 5 and 6. These figures are both wearing the very common long Soviet greatcoats. And this figure is firing a PPSH submachine gun. And this figure here is firing a Mosin Soviet rifle. You have very little gear strapped to their coats, but they're still nice sculpts. Very crisp. And the last two figures in this set, this one here had a modification. The way they designed this set, Italeri stupidly designed this really crude mortar. It was a really idiotic sculpt. So I removed the mortar, and I just have a separate mortar that's more realistic, a generic one. So now he's using the mortar properly. And he's got another spare mortar in the other hand. And then this figure here is simply marching with the PPSH submachine gun. And they're nice and cozy for winter warfare. And you know me, I love conversions, so I couldn't stop at 8 poses. That was too weak. So you got this mortar guy here, and then you have this machine gun spotter. So I turned the machine gun spotter into a mortar guy by taking his arm and gluing it here and putting a different helmet on him, and now they're a mortar team. Successful. Look at that guy. You can make him at home, kids. Just don't cut your fingers off. This conversion, I made that from this guy, and I just gave him a bottom half from a figure that was kneeling. This figure, the same thing. This is a conversion. No, this is the conversion. And I swapped him out with this figure. So this guy is using the bottom half of this and the top half of this. The plastic general is not responsible if you cut your fingers off or glue your fingers together using super glue. And finally, this conversion was made from this kneeling figure and with the upper half of this figure. How clever! It's like I'm a cloning scientist cloning their genes together, making super freaks out of these men. So back in 2006, maybe 2007, we were so delighted that they came out with Winter Soviets, but then we found out that they were going to add on to the Winter Soviets with a anti-tank gun and the team to go with it. Italeri smacks us in the face wonderfully twice. So here we go with the ZIS-3 Soviet anti-tank gun. Very, very powerful and potent anti-tank gun. And with it came a 6-man crew. So here's what you get. You get the guy, and he has the little wheels and stuff. So the wheels would have been part of the gun. So he gets in there, and he's operating the gun. And then you have an ammunition box. So this nerd back here will be like taking care of the ammunition. He's down to 2 shots, it seems. Then you have this commander pointing. He's a pointer. So he's yelling, screaming, "There's a tank, we got to take it out." Then we have a guy here that's doing something else too. Maybe he's giving this guy here moral support. I don't know why or what. Now, this guy, he's dragging more ammunition into the battle. So he's supplying the guys with the ammunition. And then you have a loader loading the ammunition into the ZIS-3 anti-tank gun. Look at that. A potent and devastating anti-tank gun. These guys would just wait in the snow, waiting, and then. So here's the gang. I knew all these guys personally. I fought along with them. But there they are. 8 poses, plus 6 poses and an anti-tank gun, plus a couple conversions for good measure. By Italeri, 132 scale, Soviet Winter Infantry. Okay, we're going to do an extra. I don't want to tire you guys out with the figures, but this is really important for all you diehards like me. When Italeri first came out with this set, it was a 16 pose set, but of course it was a 1/72nd scale set. And there were actually 16 figures in the pose, but when they released the 132 set, they only chose 8 of the infantry figures. But then some company out in China, what they did is they pirated the set and blew them up to 132. Unwittingly, what they did is they came out with 4 more of those poses from that 1/72nd scale set, and here they are. So you can pick them up on you know the place where, and they're in these cheap little shitty pirate sets. But you get a guy running with an anti-tank gun, then you get this other guy running with a rifle, you get a guy advancing forward with a submachine gun, and then you get another guy sort of firing with a submachine gun. And they're very well scaled, just like the other guys. So they fit in beautifully. But these are 4 of the 8 missing poses. So you can score them. They're out there. It's got to keep your eyes open. I wasn't going to show this. I didn't want to drag it on too long, but there they are. Plastic General won't let you down. Okay, let me grab this. Oh, it's heavy. Can anybody identify what this is? This is my favorite Soviet tank. It's It's the JS2, Joseph Stalin II, heavy tank with, wait a second, freeze? Okay, unfreeze. It is a 122 millimeter gun. You know how powerful that is? It'll blow the turret off of any tank. The problem with this tank was, though, it had a very slow rate of fire because the ammunition was so large, came in 2 pieces, and then they could only stow like about 40 shots in here, and they could only fire about once every 30 seconds. But you don't want to get hit by it. Anyway, this miraculous piece of armor was created by my favorite 3D printing company, 3D Printer Chick, and she printed this for us in 1/32 scale. Look at this glorious tank. I am in love with the 3D Printer Chick. She's not only beautiful, she makes fantastic tanks. She can make any tank in any scale, and I have a lot more where this came from. Just look her up on, you know where, eBay. I didn't say that. Anyway, let's take a look around this. Let's go around the tank here. So you have the 122 millimeter gun with nice muzzle brake. This is the cupola here, and you have your spare tanks. You have your exhaust back here. This one thing holds the gun. If, let's say, they're transporting it by railway, the gun holder would hold that gun. It's got nice detail. I love it. I'm in love with this tank. And that's where the driver would be sitting here. It's only a 4-man tank. Oh, and this is a defensive machine gun back here. So if anybody climbed on the tank, they'd shoot them off. So there you go. 132 Joseph Stalin II heavy tank made by 3D Printer Chick. And you can look her up on eBay. My favorite 3D company. Okay, switching caps now. So Italeri, of course, comes out with the opposing team, which is they did a set of late war winter Germans, and that's what we're going to look at now. So the first 2 figures were German infantry in long winter greatcoats of their own, and this one's firing a Mauser with sniper sight, and this guy's firing an MP40 submachine gun. Up to this point, no one had ever done German infantry in winter long coats. Poses 3 and 4, they really mixed it up with this set, and they gave you 2 poses, both in winter white camouflage. This figure is operating a mortar, but the figure originally had a mortar sort of like molded into it, but again, it was a very strange looking mortar, so I chopped it away and used a separate, more realistic German mortar, and that's how I got that. And this figure is firing an STG 1944, STG 44 assault rifle. Figures 5 and 6, a commander with wearing a smock and holding on to an MP40 submachine gun. This guy's running with a Mauser and a bayonet. And figures 7 and 8. This figure is firing the German equivalent of the bazooka called the Panzer Schreck. And this figure is firing an MG34 heavy machine gun. And he's wearing a sort of Waffen-SS smock with helmet cover. And of course, the plastic general will not stop at 8 poses, so he will create conversions. So I made this guy sort of running but firing back a little bit with the bottom half of this and the top half of this figure, creating this. You can do this at home, kids. Conversions 3 and 4. No, conversions 2 and 3. I used the same bottoms of a figure with a great coat, except I used the upper half of this guy for this figure and the upper half of this guy for this figure. Now, this is my favorite conversion I made from the series. It's when the German soldier was wearing a great coat, but they still threw a camouflage smock on top of it with a helmet cover. Someone should do a set of soldiers all like that. It was very common in the Battle of the Bulge. And look at this conversion. Kneeling, firing an MP40 submachine gun. Look how I achieved that. I very meticulously carved away the Panzerfaust so he was holding nothing. And then this commander was holding an MP40 submachine gun, and all I did is remove the submachine gun, and with the hands, and I just inserted it into his hands, and there I got a guy kneeling, sharpshooting an MP40. Very tricky and very smooth and much needed conversion. So then to even out the score, Italeri announced that they're releasing a German anti-tank gun with crew to even it out with the Soviets. So here they are. So this is the very common, dangerous, and useful German PaK-40 75mm anti-tank gun. These guns were a terror to the Allies because there was always anti-tank teams hiding in the brushes and the bocage and stuff in France or all over Italy. I mean, anywhere in the Soviet Union. And these things destroyed more tanks than even tanks destroyed tanks. And here is the 6-man crew, starting with the figure. He's even holding the little wheel that would have been attached to the anti-tank gun. And he's designed to be sitting right in here, operating the elevation of the gun and firing the gun. Figure number 2 would be the commander. I imagine he'd be on this side because his arm is there waving when to fire. Figure number 3 is a guy getting ready to insert the 75mm shell right in there. I know it looks Freudian, but too bad. You have another figure here getting ready to load in another shell so it can fire in fast succession. You have a guy with who's sort of handling the ammunition box. And then you have another guy running with more ammunition. Keep feeding the gun, boys. So there you have it. There's the full, okay, so let me say that again. So here they all are, but wait, I forgot, because I'm a fool. I made one more conversion with the guy that was running. I swapped out the arms, and so he's holding mortars in his hand. So now I have a 2-man mortar team. So here they are, all 8 poses, plus the 6-man anti-tank gun team and the anti-tank gun, plus my 5 conversions. And here they are in all their glory. Italeri hasn't produced them for a very, very long time, but they still pop up regularly. And they're a fantastic set. They're 132 scale. And they were a great gift during what I call the dark times, during the great lull in our hobby. I'm ready to sacrifice my love for the Soviet Union and Stalin. I even grew my mustache like Uncle Joe. Are you ready to jump aboard the Joseph Stalin II tank by 3D printer chick? Let's go. Come on! Fire! Woo! I'm hot. Okay, guys, that's all for today. If you liked the episode, please hit the like button. And if you love the Plastic General, please remember to hit the subscription button so that you can always be notified about future episodes. And hit that little bell that's right next to it so you'll always be notified the second the episode gets released. I want to thank all of our sponsors. And, oh yeah, if you have any comments or any criticisms or any historical accuracies that you might see, which you'll never see any on this show because we're so accurate, be sure to put them there in the comments. My name is Christian Aldo. This is the Plastic General. And long live 132 World War II. Till next time.